I'm the third. We have 3 generations that have graduated from Oviedo High School from my family. So we're excited and kind of ingrained in the community as well. So tonight we've got Oviedo Citizens in Action, and we've got a wonderful, wonderful program. And before we get started into that, we'll just do the logistical stuff for the Oviedo Historical Society members and our guests. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you coming out and learning about what we do tonight. So as you come in, if you're just joining us, please go ahead and mute yourself, and it will be a little bit of a cascade update as we bring members and guests into the program. So we have Oviedo Citizens in Action on the agenda tonight. We're excited. One of the things that I wanted to do, and one of the initiatives that I really wanted, was to learn more about the other organizations in our community, in our backyard, that we can collaborate with, and that we simply, for me, I'm not as knowledgeable as I should be, being in the community. And I think that there are ways that we can always work together, and I am loving the fact that I get to learn more tonight. So I'm excited to be able for the Historical Society to share this with everybody. I want to take a little bit of time to thank our board. This board has been, from 2019 to 2021, we kind of scooted through last year, trying to figure out what life will be like. But a special thank you to Desta Horner, Marty Rouse, Bethany Jablon, Mimi Bruce, Susan Pierce, Margie Sloan, Eunice Mann, Janet Foley, and Zachary Surratt. As some of you may know these names with other organizations that you're in, but there may be some younger folk that you may not be aware of that have been instrumental in moving the Historical Society forward, and some of our programs for the farmers market and the visibility of the organization at large. So I am deeply appreciative to our board, and they're just amazing. They're just amazing people in their own right, but they're just amazing to me personally. So thank you so much. A couple of items that we have coming up. TOP is spearheaded the monumental challenge of creating and going through the process of creating a historical marker dedicated to the plane crash. And that will be March 6th. If you are available March 6th, we have a farmer's market that day, but the dedication will be at least starting at the Lawton House at 200 West Broadway initially. And then I believe there is a remembrance walk soon after. The other things that we do, and we've started in the last couple of years, is our legacy members. So we have longstanding members, including one particular legacy member within our group today, Miss Ida, who has really been instrumental in the lives of the people here in our community. And they represent, they're an embodiment of service and legacy and community within Oviedo, and their body of work stands to the testament of the type and quality of citizens we have here. And so again, this year, since we weren't able to do it last year, this year we will actually celebrate 2 of our community members at the Oviedo Lawton House. And it is going to be hopefully a surprise. We've held it so tight for so long, so hopefully it'll be a surprise to them. But it is a way and an opportunity for our community to actually share the stories and give back and share the memories and the impact and the effect that these community members have have created, and just the experiences in their life story. So thank you so much, and come on out to support them, because it'll be very exciting. And of course, one of the things that we've done, that we have, it'll be our 10th year this year. We're going to be celebrating 10 years for the Oviedo Farmers Market. And so the next, the market days are ways that we can create and help our small and micro businesses really exist and be successful and fruitful in this time, as well as creating a way that we can help fund some of the scholarships that we provide. So portions of the proceeds for every market goes to our scholarships for our high school seniors. And they also provide things that activities that we do at the market and throughout the year. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Shirley Rain.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our wearies, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you so much, Shirley, for the nice song. And it is a joy as well as a pleasure for me to introduce our speaker for our Black History program. And as we celebrate this month, Black History Month, Vetrilla Kathy Price Hunt is a native of North Charleston, South Carolina, the city that is best known for its manners. She is a retired intern coordinator from Valencia Community College of Orlando. While at Valencia, she was the Black Student Club Advisory and served on the Black Advisory Committee at Valencia. Kathy currently serves on the board of directors for the Florida African American Student Association. Kathy is the president of the Oviedo Citizens in Action, Inc., a community organization which provides a voice to the underserved in the community and coordinates the community Dr. Martin Luther King celebration in the city of Oviedo, where she has resided for 29 long years. She currently serves on the Oviedo Police Foundation Board. Kathy is a member of the national group local in Oviedo called Be the Bridge. Kathy also served 3 years on the Orlando American Red Cross Board. She's very, very busy. Kathy was the past president of the Senior Connect Ministry at Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church. She is the current president of the Mount Sinai Shepherd Care Ministry. Kathy proudly was recognized and documented February 2019 for her role in the Black history as being one of the first Black to integrate North Charleston High School in North Charleston, South Carolina in 1966. Kathy is the proud mother of 2 grown successful children. She is the granny, and they are the sunshine of her life. These are the 2 grandchildren. Kathy was married for 40 wonderful years to the love of her life, Chuck, until he passed 6 years ago. Now, Kathy's philosophy is, I am nothing without God, and he completes me to be who I am. I am, and I will always sing praises to him, because when praises go up, I am a living testimony that blessings do come down. My calling is to be a servant leader. I live well, laugh often, and give love at all times. We celebrate from the Oviedo Citizen in Action, Inc. Kathy's uniqueness, her compassion, her integrity, her dignity, her love for the organization, her love for the members of the organization, her love for the community, and her love for all near and far. And I present to you Kathy Hunt, one of a kind, magnificent. And after Kathy finished speaking, we will hear from Bob DeLaury, the Seminole County Commissioner, Jeff Chado, former Oviedo Police Chief, Carol White, Director of People Support, Hilton Daytona Beach Oceanfront. And after that, we have closing remarks from Dexter Hunter, our program committee. Thank you. All yours, Kathy.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay. Great, great. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for asking me to be a part of this, the Historical Society Black History Program. I am so humbled to be a part of it. And as you can see, the title of my speech this evening is "A Voice Over Troubled Waters." Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. There has been voices over troubled waters and times from biblical times. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell, oh, Pharaoh, to let my people go. God instructed Moses from a burning bush to return to Egypt and free his fellow Israelites from slavery. That's a voice from biblical time. Then there was another Moses, Harriet Tubman, an abolitionist and political activist. Wade in the water, wade in the waters, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Her voice through songs as the conductor of the Underground Railroad was telling fugitive slaves how to avoid capture. Now, let's move on to Mahatma Gandhi. From 1893 to 94, Gandhi takes a job with an Indian law firm in South Africa where he exposed the racial discrimination practice, but with peaceful tactics. Gandhi's voice was then heard by Dr. Martin Luther King, who studied him well as he became involved with the Southern Christianship Leadership Conference during the Civil Rights era by leading and directing through peaceful interventions. His voice was heard through his speeches, also sent hope and direction as to how the race of Black people will overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. The voices and actions of Dr. King encouraged a call for action by some Black ministers and other community citizens in the Oviedo area to not let their voices of the 4.4% of the Oviedo population be silent anymore. Thus, the creation of the Oviedo Citizens in Actions around 1969. The organization was formed to bring about equality and civil rights that they were really concerned about. They were fighting for desegregating public schools. The Black community was divided behind the street called Division Street. Yes, I know that they're saying that the street was just dividing the city out, the old Oviedo and the new Oviedo, but studies have shown differently that it just so happened that the line of demarcation was there, where on one side was just the Black community and the other side was the white community. So the desegregation of public schools from 1880 to 1967, we had to attend what they called the colored schools at that time, even becoming an elementary school. So in 1967, with the help of the Oviedo Citizens in Actions and their peaceful campaigning, schools were desegregated, and they were able to move forward to like Jackson Heights and Oviedo High School. Our purpose also at that time was desegregation of several local businesses, including a barbershop, through nonviolent resistance. Injustice of the treatment of Blacks by the Oviedo Police Department. My, how history is beginning to repeat itself with everything that's going on now with Black Lives Matters and all lives matters, but it seems like it's starting to come. But Oviedo is moving forward and wanting to be a part, but this had to be brought out through the Oviedo Citizens and Actions group. They also were a big advocate for our voice to be heard through voting. So they ran time after time after time voters registration drives. Oviedo Citizens and Actions was associated and came under the umbrella of a group called SEEDCO, and it stands for the Sunshine State Economic Development Cooperation, the Johnson Great Society. Because of that particular great society, they were instrumental in providing funds for the development of Black businesses and jobs right across or from the Division Street. The voice over troubled waters. In the late 90s, our focus became a voice and a resource clearinghouse to the underserved in the community. Over the years, our membership has become very diverse racially, and we have focused on rendering a fair assessment of where the underserved are and what are their needs. Oviedo Citizens in Actions is currently known and have participated in Oviedo Parks and Rec programs like the Halloween Carnival that they have, the Oviedo Police Department Night Out and Fishing with a Cop, Johnson Hill / Washington Heights Community Outreach School Supplies, Winter Springs Optimist Club, Sunshine Population Dance, Relay for Life golf event that the city sponsors. OCIA works closely with the Historical Society, in case you didn't know, to provide accurate information about the history of the African American communities. Just ask Ms. Ida Boston and she'll keep you right on task. And how we played a part in the contribution of Oviedo's history. Also, we sponsored a Take Stock in Children education program. We were a mentor in Seminole County. We were a mentor for that. And we were fortunate enough at that time to provide funding to a middle school student that took that particular student through 2 years of college. And we were proud to have done that because our focus again is on the underserved. We also had a student after school Wednesdays tutorial program, which was excellent, and it was done right at Round Lake Park. Also, we did a summer educational camp for teens, and that was just wonderful. Then we have a program called YES, Youth Exposed Saves, where we try to give our youth some experiences that they probably would not have gotten because they are our underserved group, but they got to give it back. They got to work with us on some of the programs that we do, and they work closely with us on the Sunshine Dance that we work with and some other things. Also, we have Adopt a Road program. We adopt to keep Avenue B, which this Saturday will be named in honor of Mrs. Tinsley. And that's going to be the dedication of that road will be on that day, and it's called the Adeline B. Tinsley Way. And we're excited about getting behind that. Danny McKinney, a past president of OCIA, has been working really closely with her family and getting that particular thing together. And we also are proud of keeping our voices heard through our vote. So we've sponsored many voters registration drives in conjunction with some of the churches in the Oviedo area. And so that you'll know that we're not only just in collaboration with the city for the Dr. Martin Luther King. That is one of our signature program. And we are so proud to be able to collaborate with the city and doing that every year. This year, we had to do things a little different. We did it by virtual means, and it went out well. We had a very good response. So again, Oviedo Citizens and Action, Inc., we are so proud to be able to provide resources and be that voice for the underserved, the underheard. And if you listened from the very beginning of my presentation here this evening, I talked about being that voice. And so we are the voice over troubled waters. When it was time, we did it then. We're doing it now. We were very concerned about the Black Lives Matters movement. We had representations that spoke at that. And we're working closely with the Oviedo City Police Department and trying to make certain that if there are problems, we don't want to be we want to be proactive and not reactive to things. And so we're working closely with them with that, getting that together, and just collaborating with the city to make Oviedo a better place to live through the efforts that we have, and we are that voice. And again, I just want to thank you all. I hope that this have given you some highlights and some insights as to what Oviedo Citizens in Action is all about. And if you have any questions, I am here. But again, I wish to thank you all for allowing me to share this bit of what Oviedo Citizens in Action is all about. And I'm humbled. And peace, love, and be safe.
May I say something?
Yes.
Thank you, Kathy. Because I attended Jackson Heights Elementary, I needed to clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
The colored students, I'm going to use that language, the colored students went to school in Jamestown, Geneva, Snow Hill, Wagner. But in 1958 or 59, Jackson Heights became the place, the centralized place for the children. We were colored children then. So it was Jackson Heights Elementary, and that part of the history is never told. It wasn't always Jackson Heights Middle School.
Right.
Jackson Heights Elementary, and it was a big deal. And so as the Jamestown Color School Museum comes to life, the full story will be told. But the people on the, you know now, that Jackson Heights was big time for us as the elementary place. Thank you.
Kathy,
Yes.
This is Desta Horner.
Yes.
How do people go about joining the Oviedo Citizens in Action?
You can go to our website if you'd like. We meet every second Monday evening at 7 p.m. And because of the virus, and we're doing virtual meetings. But if you can find out the information on our website, and that is the Oviedo Citizens in Action.org, if you want to go there, OCIA.org. And we're always looking for new members, especially young people, because we want them to pick up the torch and keep carrying on what our forefathers did with this organization back in 1969.
Ida?
It's back to Ida, I think, right? Oops, we lost her.
No, it's back to Bob.
Oh, okay. You want me to speak?
Yes, Bob.
Thank you. For those who may not know me, my name is Bob Delary. I'm one of the county commissioners here in Seminole County. My roots actually started in Oviedo in 1987. I actually grew up in New York City, and that's one of the reasons why I love Oviedo Citizens in Action, because of the diversity. As you may know, Oviedo, New York is a very diverse city. But Kathy, I got to tell you that I love the fact that you brought out the song Bridge Over Troubled Water. And there's a couple of reasons why I like that song. It's mainly because of Simon and Garfunkel, who is from New York. But more importantly, they wrote another song. And one of the songs that they wrote is a song called Kathy. You can look it up. And the last line of the song, Kathy, is basically says, "But for the grace of you, go I." And when I think of that, it's not only you, Kathy, it's also the grace of these individuals that are a part of Oviedo Citizens in Action. And I'm saying that not just to talk about Kathy, but everyone in the group of Oviedo Citizens in Action, because they're very inclusive. When I moved to Oviedo, I didn't know anyone. And really the first person I came in touch with was Mimi Bruce. Back then, she was the mayor. And Mimi actually took me around and started introducing me to many people. And she introduced me to several of the folks with Oviedo Citizens in Action. And back then, as a newcomer to the area, there wasn't a lot of ways to really get involved in being entrenched in the community. And OCIA allowed you to do that. One of the things they've always embraced is not just the history of Oviedo, but allowing people to make their own history with Oviedo, which is really what I liked. And I always thought that was special. I remember the first time that they were actually trying to do the Martin Luther King Day Parade. It didn't go well because back then they didn't shut the road down, if people would remember that. In fact, they wouldn't even shut down one lane of traffic. The folks with Oviedo Citizens in Action did not give up. They actually had the march on one side of the road with traffic, It got to be very interesting. And then after 1 or 2 years, I don't remember of that, how long it took, the city actually shut down the road. And Martin Luther King Day Parade, as we know it today, really took shape. And the big thing that I take away as a participant of that, it's not just the day that we have where we actually show that everyone wants to remember the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King, but is the historical part of what he represented. He represented inclusivity for everyone. It just wasn't Black people. It was all minorities. It was all popular people. And that's really what I look at when it comes to OCIA. They represent all minorities, all people, all walks of life. And they want everyone to be inclusive into the community, to actually form their own thread in the fabric of Oviedo. And yes, there's a lot of history in Oviedo. I was not a part of it. I came into Oviedo in 1987. But since then, I tried to weave my own thread into that fabric. And the Oviedo Citizens in Action Group has allowed me to do that with so many other people. And I got to tell you, it's them having that inclusivity, that willingness to allow people to be a part of their community and to try to help other people, that really makes me excited. And that's why I call Oviedo home. And, you know, if you look at the history of Oviedo, it goes even further back. But Oviedo today is truly about different people and about how they weave their thread in that fabric. And I will tell you, the love that I have for so many people in Oviedo, you can see it just on your faces here tonight. No one has a bad thing to say about anybody, even off camera. But more importantly, everyone always talks about what can we do to help other people? It's never about yourself. And that's what I love about Oviedo Citizen Action. It's never about me. They don't use the words me, I, need. It's always about the community. And that's what I love about everyone here. And as long as we do that, just like not having the Martin Luther King Day Parade, not having the road shut down, we can accomplish anything. And you've all have accomplished a lot in the short period of time. It may be throughout the history of Oviedo, it can maybe in one person's mind take a long time to get something done. But if you really look at things, things are happening, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So for me, Oviedo Citizens in Action, it's about the love of the community, it's about inclusivity, and it's about getting things done. And that's why I love being a part of OCIA. So thank you. And I want to thank everyone for allowing me to speak here today. Love you all.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Jeff, it's your turn. Don, did Jeff check in?
No, I haven't seen him.
Okay. Carol, your turn.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carol Jordan White, and I'm a citizen of Oviedo. I've been in Oviedo as a resident since 2004. Relocating here from Birmingham, Alabama, it was very important to me to find an organization that was about community and definitely had a spot for the underserved. And that's when I got introduced to OCIA. I've been a member of the organization for over 10 years. Kathy has provided you a laundry list of different activities that have taken place in some of the more recent years. What was very interesting to me, though, is when we look back in the history of OCIA, there are some founding families. These family names were Boston, Smith, Jones, and King. I'm certain there are other communities, or I should say other families that provided services to this community, but I mentioned these family names because of the standout, whether it was someone who was involved in the Temple Orange, or the Boston Park, or the Boston Cemetery, land being donated. And then OCI having been created to make sure it was serving people from a need of housing and food and health and education. I'm a proud member of OCIA because here we are more than 50 years later. That mission still rings true today. And as Kathy also mentioned, we are on a mission, though, to make sure that we have another generation coming behind us to move forward. For you see, having a great foundation, it leaves no wonder as to why this organization has been withstand, even though it's small. But as Kathy also mentioned, for as much as many things have gotten better in our society and in this particular community, there is still work to be done. So we're very proud to have an inclusive organization that will always stand up for right, looking out for our community, and also one who will always make sure that this information is provided back to our community. So I do challenge even other organizations that we partner with over the years to collaborate with the common mission that we have so that Oviedo continues to be the great and wonderful small town that it is. But also making sure that when we are noted nationally as one of the top 50 communities to live in, when we're noted for having so many A schools, elementary, middle, and high school, which is great and wonderful. And as we continue to grow, that we never, ever forget, though, that part of our population that exists in any community, large or small, and to be there as a helping hand, because it is about serving others. So I thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak as a newcomer to this community and someone who loves OCIA.
Thank you so much. You know, just looking at all of you, I noticed that you was also listening with your eyes as well as your ears. So I'm sure you have learned an awful lot from what Kathy has said, what Bob and what Carol has said also. Thank you so much for being a part of our organization, and we invite you to come and share with us at any time. Justice, up on you now. You need to unmute yourself, Dusty.
Sorry. I'm Desta Horner, the Vice President of Oviedo Historical Society, and we want to thank Kathy Hunt and Bob and Carol for coming tonight and sharing with us some of the things that the Oviedo Citizens in Action has done for this community. And the people of Oviedo are very grateful for what you have done in the community for the young people, for the people in need, and simply to raise the awareness in Oviedo of all the things that we need to do and continue to be an inclusive society, an inclusive city. And we always know that Oviedo Citizens in Action, whenever they make a contribution, whenever they take on a project, they always do it with an open heart and an open hand. So we do appreciate it. And we hope that a number of people will decide they want to be part of this very important civic group.
Desta?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but I would like to interject a little bit and ask if Danny can speak and share with us about OCIA.
Go for it, Danny. All right.
Thank you. I didn't come prepared to, well, yes, I did. Our president was out of the pocket there for a moment. And I just want to say thank you, Kathy. I'm glad to see you. I hope everything is, as we all know, it's in God's hand and it will work for the betterment. Bob, as I love those words that you spoke as well, and along with Carol. And like they said, we are organization that have been here for over 50 years. We celebrated in 2018 our 50th year of service, but that's when it was brought to my attention that OCIA was much older. In 1969, we became incorporated in the state of Florida. So that's where we have our birth date, May of 1969. I think Black history is an ongoing venture for us. we need to be aware of that. And I was prepared to speak tonight about a few of those local Black African Americans here in our community. The Bostons, there was 2 sets of Boston families here. And I like to thank the mayor who had commissioned an artist to come and put a little bit of our history in Round Lake Park, which is closest to the predominant Black community here in Oviedo of Washington Heights and Johnson Hill. And they've been posting on Facebook just a brief indication of what those that are represented on that wall mean to the community. And the Bostons were there, and also an organization like Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. Antioch will be celebrating 146 years of providing service to this community. And it's the oldest church here in the community. And we're always celebrating our anniversary there at Antioch. But they just recently donated a building right there on the corner of Broadway and Avenue B, which on Saturday morning will be named in honor of one of our founder members of Oviedo Citizen Action, as Kathy mentioned, Adeline Baldwin Tinsley. And we invite you all to come out for that brief service at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. So there is history in this community. You know, a lot of times we think about Dr. King, we think about Justice Thurgood Marshall, and don't get me wrong, Jackie Robinson, they are all great, outstanding African Americans, but we have African Americans here in this community doing good each and every day. And our president is one of those. As Ms. Ida gave recognition to her prior to her speaking, you saw the list of organizations that she belonged to and the things that she had done in the community. And again, you know, that just a small amount of what the other members in our organization has done over these 50 years. Commissioner Delary tells me all the time, call me Bob, but I wanted to recognize him too, because when he was a member of the city council here in Oviedo, Bob was a member of Oviedo Citizen Action. He's still a current member of Oviedo Citizen Action. And anytime we need anything at that level, we know we can call him up, send an email, or make contact with him, and we'll get the help that we need. So again, I didn't come prepared, but yes, I did come prepared. But you asked me to speak kind of at the cup here. But I just want to say thank you. And Ms. Raines, you did an excellent job on the rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Just thank you for your dedication as well. And again, as always, anytime anybody asks me to speak about OCIA, I also like to extend an invitation. We're looking for young and old to come and be a part of our organization. It was put on the chat screen, the address for the website, and Krista Boston, part of that Boston family here, put on there that we are followed on Facebook, so follow us there as well. And you can find an application there as well. So again, thank you, the Historical Society, for allowing me to speak. And I wish you all a safe night. Thank you.
Thank you. Desta?
Okay. Thank you, Danny, for joining and telling us those nice words.